Hello everyone and welcome to the Chrissy B Show. I'm your host, Chrissy B, and let me just run you through what we'll be talking about today. First of all, we're going to have the news with the lovely Excel. And prepare yourselves because her news is normally wacky, just like her. Isn't that right, my darling? How are you?
I aim to please, Chrissy.
Yes, you do. You always do, I have to say. You do bring some good ones on the show. Now, today we'll also be speaking to representatives from One Bag Uganda, a charity providing basic but vital items for those in need. Now, some of them have just returned from working over there, so they have lots and lots to share. We'll also be inspired by a creative success story of the Bakery Boys who are active in music, art and fashion. We also have Jane Wrafter's fitness tip on the importance of warming up. We'll also see my abseiling and rock climbing Chrissy challenge. Remember TYF Adventure Excel? Do you remember that one? Yeah, she came along with me. And I'll be answering a question from a lovely viewer. So Excel, first of all, it's you, my darling. Take it away with the news.
Well, thank you very much. But Chrissy, I have to say I have to start with a slightly serious topic today.
We don't do serious.
Well, just a tad, because it's for someone's good. Let's just put it that way. When you hear it, you'll understand why. Police are looking for a man who assaulted a woman on a train between London Bridge and Chislehurst. The British Transport Police say the suspect followed the woman onto the 12:48 a.m. train, Charing Cross to Orpington service, on July the 18th. And he is said to have sat next to the woman and touched her inappropriately for 20 minutes before getting off.
God.
And some news reports actually said the woman was sleeping as well. So he doesn't say what exactly he did, but I think he must have obviously inappropriately touched her. You know, your mind is open to interpretations. But he sat next to her. The detective constable in charge of the case said he sat next to her and began to touch her inappropriately for a period of about 20 minutes before he left the train at Chislehurst station. There are a few people on the train at the time who may have thought the pair were a couple and were reluctant to step in. So, like I said, some reports actually also say that she was asleep. So maybe if someone was sleeping there, you're sort of stroking her or whatever he was doing, you would think, oh,
she must have been in some deep sleep.
Well, it was 12:48 a.m. She must have been tired and on her way home from wherever she was going to. Maybe. So I think it's probably just took advantage of her tiredness, really. And
because normally you feel, even if you fall asleep, normally you'd feel like
someone's touching.
I've always slept on people's shoulders before when I've fallen asleep on the tube, but as soon as I realise, I'm like
exactly. But it's just unfortunate. I mean, we have a photo of the man. He's all well dressed and everything, so you wouldn't actually see him as somebody.
Take a look at him.
So
shame.
That's the dirty, rotten scoundrel. I'm sorry, but I have to say he's a dirty, rotten scoundrel. How did she find out
afterwards then?
Well, I mean, this report just sort of, it was a news clip. I was totally outraged, but I just thought I had to clear it. But like I said, I saw some other news report that said she was asleep as well.
Yeah.
But I think it was, I suppose in the days of the sleep, she must have woken up and reported it afterwards. I really couldn't tell you,
sometimes when people are on medication as well, they can really fall into a really deep sleep.
Exactly.
And not realise certain things that are going on.
Exactly. And so other passengers were on the train at the time, and obviously they thought they were a couple. So they've released that image, and they've said they would like to speak with him in connection with the incident. And if anybody else with information knows, to obviously call Crime Stoppers 0800 555 111.
Thanks for that.
And name the dirty, rotten scoundrel.
They do try on the tubes, don't they? It's really
actually a friend of mine said the same thing. She actually fell asleep. She said she fell asleep on the Circle Line one day, and this man just conveniently placed his arm around her, sort of thing. He didn't touch her. She said he didn't touch her, but she woke up and the man was just conveniently hanging around her, like, how's it going? And she looked at him and went, "What are you doing?" and just shouted at him, and he sort of started. She got off the train immediately. I think it's really kind of not good.
The worrying thing is that he was just doing it in front of everyone. Imagine if she was by herself.
Exactly.
That's horrible.
Exactly. Naughty man.
All right. Okay.
Well, moving on to Bright. Well, the happy ending I want for this story is that you are caught and you're shamed and you're slapped on the wrist.
Really going for it.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
But anyway, that's my bit of serious. I think we should have a scoundrel of the week, shouldn't we? Every week, Right. Okay. Now I have to say, when I found this bit of news, I was laughing. I was in stitches. You know how you leave a note, like if someone's eating the last cookie or something, and just say, "Who ate my last cookie?" Blah blah blah.
No, I don't do that.
You don't do that? Okay, right. It happens in offices usually. Well, it's all right. You're good. Or maybe everybody sort of keeps their fingers, keeps their hands to themselves. They keep their fingers off Chrissy's food. However, this whole drama unfolded because someone was having a go, left a note at someone who ate their sandwich. So if we cue picture number 1, this is hilarious. I could not stop laughing. It says here, to the person who keeps stealing my sandwiches, in brackets, turkey and Swiss with mayo on rye, this is ridiculous. We are all full-grown adults. We're not children. Please take responsibility for your actions and stop stealing other people's property. Right? You would think it would end there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Number 2, the thief. The thief replied. Cue photo number 2. It said, dear turkey and Swiss on rye, I have your precious sandwich. It's safe for now. Put $10 on the plate in the fridge or you never see it undigested again. God. So this is, of course, the thief responded. And it carried on. Number 3, please. So the original, the person put another note saying, dear sandwich thief, please grow up and just return my sandwich. This is very unprofessional. If I ever find out who's doing this, I won't hesitate to contact HR. And of course, you kind of think, okay, the person will be threatened now. They'll be like, oh my gosh, I really need to return this sandwich. But see what they did next. Number 4. Now it comes with a picture. Dear turkey and Swiss, for every hour you continue to refuse my demands, I'll remove another bite of this sandwich. Please take this seriously. We are professionals after all. Signed, Sandwich Thief. This just, at this point, I am in stitches here and I'm thinking this cannot be serious. But it hasn't ended. This is more sensational than an episode of EastEnders on Christmas Day, trust me. Next picture, please. Dear sandwich, oh, well, no dear this time. Sandwich thief, why are you doing this? You can see the frustration in the exclamation marks, like, why? But then, of course, the thief had an answer. But right before, I think someone else stepped in. That's the next picture. Cue, please. I believe, right, this is it. Another picture, TikTok, T-Swiss, tick-tock. So the sandwich has now had another cut to it. So it's like, do you want the sandwich? Because it's going, it's going. It's like a ransom note. And then the next picture, I think, is when somebody then intervened and it says, dear sandwich thief, this is Tina from HR. Please return the sandwich and we won't investigate the matter any further. Okay. The big guns have stepped in. You would kind of expect now that, okay, the thief will back off and, as you do. But no, he came back and he said, buy me a pizza. Okay. This thief is daring, I have to say. I was cracking up at this stage and I think our lovely camera woman here can't keep, she's besides herself. So it's working, it's working. And of course, the simple next picture, the simple answer to buy me a pizza was no. And so, of course, he tried again. And the next note came up again. By the way, I'm not even going to eat it. I'm just going to chew it up and spit it out. How does that make you feel? I could just hear the laughter. And then, of course, the man had to respond back and said, the next picture, please. It says, you're the worst. But then this is the highlight of the note. I have to say, I love this. The next response that the thief came up with was, oh, my dear T-Swizzle, I'm so very far from being the worst. Mankind's flaws can't be judged on such a simple spectrum as that. Open your eyes. You lash out at such pettiness, but ignore the hideous nature of the world at large. There is a hunger, my dear turkey and Swiss on rye, a hunger that is spreading from the deepest, darkest pits of this hellish corporate chasm. This sandwich is the birth cry of a new era, and when the revolution finally comes, pitiful vagrants like yourself will be the first to be devoured. The deed is done. Weep for the world you once knew, for it is but crumbs upon the sill of despair, soon to be swept away by the righteous gusts of change. Seriously?
Wonderful.
It doesn't end there, Chrissy.
Well, we're going to go to a break, so it's going to have to end.
Well, cue next photos, please. I'll whiz through them very quickly. In response to that, the person then said, hi, Tina from HR again. Francis, We've checked the office printer queue and we've traced the request back to your desk. Could you please come see me at your earliest convenience? And this is the classic end piece. Final page is, I'm sorry, please don't fire me.
After all that.
I'm sorry, I had to share that. It was absolutely hilarious. And of course, that went on social media, my favorite place to share this
how many views this time?
Oh no, I didn't get the views this time. Okay. I just saw it pasted on them. Yes.
We don't have this problem around. Everyone just shares their food. It's true. Emil over there makes lovely Spanish omelets, doesn't he? Yeah, he's got his thumbs up, and everyone shares their sweets and stuff.
Yeah, we all had a go at chocolates and sweets. Absolutely, absolutely. But this was serious sandwich, you know. It's a serious sandwich.
So thank you for sharing that. We're going to go to a quick break, and you're going to be joining us afterwards as well. Oh, do you know what I forgot? I was meant to show some street chats of summer fashion. Do we have time, guys? I can't hear any. Pardon?
We'll do that.
I'm trying to hear if they've got time. No, we don't have time, I'm told. But anyway, we'll show it later. Yes. Because I want to find out from you what you liked about this summer's fashion. Ooh, and we'll see what the people said as well. Okay. Okie dokie. So do join us after this break, because we're going to have 3 lovely young ladies on to talk about a very special charity.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show. Always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back. Now, before I meet my guests, let's take a look at this fitness tip with Jane Wrafter.
Hi guys, welcome to your fitness tips. I'm Jane, this is Elia.
Hi there, Jane.
Hi Elia. We're going to talk to you today about the importance of warming up. Warming up is really important to help prevent injury. A lot of people go straight into a workout, either a hard run or a workout with heavy weights, and you're much more likely to injure yourself. In fact, there's a lot of research lately that says that the warm-up is even more important than the end stretch.
Definitely, yeah.
Warm-up that is crucial to prevent injury. We're going to give you 2 examples of a warm-up today. One is for the shoulders, one is for the legs. Okay, so you'll see I've got some small weights. Elia is going to run through with me what I ought to do to warm up my shoulders before I do heavier weight training.
So guys, make sure when you're doing any upper body weight training, it's always important to warm up the rotator cuff, because a lot of the work comes from the rotator cuff, from the front of the shoulders. So the best way we do this, we can work with dumbbells and dyno bands. So Jane's going to be having them tucked in, and we're going to be externally rotating them outwards, just as far as you can come, and then coming back in. That's just going to warm the front of the shoulders, the rear of the shoulders as well, as we get nice and warm. So I do this every time I have an upper body workout. I make sure I get my shoulders warm first, because it's the most important part of the body, where all the stress goes through is the shoulders. So that's just working into there. Then we're going to take them just in line with the shoulders with the elbows there, Jane, and we're going to rotate outwards. So we're just getting taking that move and making sure that elbow doesn't go past body line. So just in line with the body, and then rotating back into in line with the head. So that's the other exercise. Then we're going to be working, so we worked externally, now we're going to work internally. So with the dyno band, I'm going to hold some tension through, and Jane, you're just going to be pulling in towards you. So we're working again into the front, but just changing the direction as we're moving. That's it. I'm going to release a little bit more. There you go. That's it. And you just should feel a little bit work, Jane, as you come into the rotation, coming in towards the body.
Front of the shoulder, yeah.
That's it. And these can be performed, guys, on the cables on the machines in the gyms, or if you haven't got a cable machine, you can just get a dyno band or a couple of light dumbbells, and that will do the trick.
Yeah, they're cheap, aren't they, to buy, and they're portable as well.
Exactly. And obviously we'll be working right and left with both arms. There you go.
Fantastic. So I'm just going to show you the warm-up that I do, part of the warm-up that I do before I go for a run. If you just get out of bed in the morning and go out and run, you're more likely to pull your hamstrings or hurt your knees. You need to warm up your joints and your muscles. Do you want to do it with me, Ellen?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we take a wide stance with the legs, I'm going to do a mixture of power and stretch to get the legs nice and warm. So we're going to bend one knee, lean the chest forward, stick your bum back, come to center, keep your legs straight and lean forwards. Now this is stretching the hamstrings, and then bend the other knee and center and down. Now the importance of stretching is that you don't want to go straight into a deep stretch from cold. You want to get moving. So the advantage of this type of movement I'm doing now is it's building up the movement and the stretch, and you can go deeper into the stretches as you get a little bit warmer. So I'm just going to go, yeah, can you feel that? It really gets into the legs, doesn't it? Now we're going to change it slightly. We're going to go down to one side, hands on the side, and we're just going to go side to side. You need to hold on to the abs, nice deep press. You're warming up the knee joint and the thighs, stretching the muscles in the legs as well. Now, honestly, you need to warm up, I would say, for at least 7-8 minutes before you go for a run, especially when you get old like me.
But it's very true, and also we're stretching on the move, which is the most important thing. So trying to emulate what we're doing when we're outdoors as well.
Yes, because a warm-up should mimic the activity. It should be an easier version of what you're about to do. Fantastic. Okay guys, so make sure you get your warm-up in and enjoy your workouts. See you next time.
See you soon.
Thank you very much, Jane. So now I'm joined by Kinsachi, Yvonne and Kimberly from One Bag Uganda. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Did I get the name right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was practicing this. So how are you all, girls?
Very well, thank you.
Good to have you on the show. Now you're going to speak to us about something very, very important, which is obviously the charity that you work with, One Bag Uganda. Can someone tell us about what it's all about, first of all?
Yeah, so One Bag Uganda started in March this year. So Kisachi, baby. So it's our baby. So Kisachi, who's our older cousin, my older cousin, had this idea that she watched a video on poverty in Uganda, especially to do with malaria, and she came to us with this idea, which she can touch on how she wanted to pursue it into a charity.
Now you're not from Uganda.
Yes. We're Ugandan. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ugandan.
I thought someone said Zambia to me before.
I was born.
Okay, confusion cleared up. Right. Okay. All right.
So it was sports relief. I'm just at home watching TV, and there's a hospital in Uganda with babies, and they're all dying from malaria, and there's nothing the nurse can do about it. So I'm very passionate about Uganda. I'm always going on about Uganda. There's a Ugandan sticker in my car, and everything's
By the way,
Ugandan,
this show
Uganda.
airs in Uganda, so you can say hello to everyone there if you like. Have a wave with all the fans in Uganda. Okay.
And so I spoke to my mom, I spoke to my cousin and my sister Kimberly, and we just sat down and said, what can we do? And then we decided to start a bag that can provide like a mosquito net, a blanket and soap, and distribute it in Uganda.
Wow, but how did it all come about though? Because obviously, you had a great idea, you wanted to help, but what were the stages that you went through to actually get this all established?
Oh, it was very tight and rushed.
Yeah.
So she had the idea and she wanted to go for it full throttle. So we had to, first thing we did was fundraising. So we held our first fundraiser dinner dance at a hotel. So we raised the majority of that money there, and that was for all the supplies, so all the mosquito nets, the blankets and the soaps.
Right.
And then the next thing, book flights to Uganda, and we obviously have some family members in Uganda, so they sorted out everything that needed to be done in Uganda. And once the girls arrived in Uganda, it was business.
So Kimberly, tell us about your experience in Uganda. Was it the first time you went there specifically to help the charity?
Yes, this is the first time we've been to help the charity. We went a bit earlier to get like the suppliers, so we went and visited different suppliers to get the best prices for everything, see the best quality for everything, because we didn't want to order it online, get there and it's not good, because we were short on time already. So yeah, once we had got all the supplies and everything, we sorted out where we're going to be staying. We tried to pick somewhere central to the villages we'll go and see, so it's easier access. And then we went to all the different villages, to the people's houses, saw how they were living, and pick specifically who we were going to help, the people who needed it the most.
Was it quite hard to choose though, because obviously so many people in need, and it must have been hard?
Yeah. It was difficult.
What was the highlight for you?
The highlight, there's a lady, I handed her a bag and she said, God has remembered me. And I felt like crying, because obviously she must have lost hope along the way from, there's a lot of poverty. So that was one of the highlights for me.
Yeah. How about you, Kimberly, when you were there?
It was, the people crying was the worst, because it's such a small gift. Like,
so what's in it? A mosquito net, what else you said?
A mosquito net, a blanket, and a long bar of soap that you can cut up and use.
See, such simple things that everyone takes for granted over here in, you know, first world countries, and it's like something so precious to someone else, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gosh, we should appreciate what we have, shouldn't we?
All the time,
Now, it must have been also quite hard, had some hard moments. How did you overcome those, Yvonne?
Well, because we're family, there's a lot of who's doing what, when are you doing it, just being, because we all work. So Kimberly's at uni, I'm full-time working.
I was going to say about that, you're probably busy with other things as well.
So busy, so very long nights, emails, texts, any social media, that's how we connect. We'd have a meeting once a week, and it's just trying to actually get to spread the word to other people, because there's so many charities and so many people involved in things. So we had to make sure that One Bag Uganda actually stood out. And
I love the name, by the way. It's nice, very unusual.
It is, yeah. And we just had to make sure that people actually saw the cause of what One Bag Uganda stood for.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest obstacle, to just have people actually see One Bag Uganda and actually support us as well, because some people can say that's a good idea, but we needed the support, which we had so much of, so we're really grateful for that.
Right. And what about the future of the charity? What do you see yourselves doing?
The future, we were thinking about doing it once a year.
Okay.
And obviously, like Yvonne said, us two work full-time when Kimberly's in university. Gosh. So it is difficult to try and do things a bit more often, but in the future we hope that it may be twice a year, 3 times a year.
Brilliant.
But hopefully the next one will be...
Get more people on board.
Exactly,
of course,
get people to come over with us, volunteer, come and hand out bags with us.
Brilliant.
It'd be amazing.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that would want to do that.
I hope so, yeah.
I just think it's fabulous that, you know, young people such as yourselves are so motivated to do something to help other people, because I'm sorry to say there are a lot of selfish people in this world, and they don't really care what's going on in other countries and stuff, but I think it's absolutely amazing what you're all doing. Well done.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for speaking to me.
Thank you.
And all the best with everything.
Thank you.
Okie dokie, it's lovely meeting the girls, but we do have more for you after this break, so do stay tuned.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to the show. Now it's time to take a look at this recording with the Bakery Boys.
We are the Bakery Boys. Yeah, please allow me to introduce A-Spook. Cutting through the block with a pack to grind. Park anywhere till I catch a fine. Sweats on top, I don't have to rhyme.
So here I am with the Baker Boys, and there's one of you missing today. Where is he?
He is he's at home.
Okay.
No, he's in the studio. He's had like an all-night recording session with another artist. So
does he work harder than you guys then?
No. We all work exactly the same, but we do different things at different times.
No, we ain't gonna sign for a buck of a dime of a deuce of a crime for a chump change. But I ain't gonna lie when the papers are high, then I'm due to.
And what keeps you going when you've hit probably patches where you thought, oh, this is tough, this is hard, I don't know if I can be bothered with this anymore, I'm sick of being broke, all those patches. What is it that motivates you to carry on?
It's like those kind of like hard times and obstacles, they're just there to test you. Do you know what I mean? Like nothing worth achieving comes easy, and it's like you can only fully appreciate what you're striving for because you've been through that stuff.
Go. Hard work, we on that, put more in to get more back, that's more.
Right, okay guys, so there's like a famous background to you guys as well, your parents. Tell us a little bit about
that. My dad was a part of Soul to Soul.
Is there like major pressure though with like the Soul to Soul background and you guys now doing your music that you need to be there at that level?
Nah, it's the thing with music, it's all about expressing yourself and being you. If I'd rock dreads and started doing that and back to life, it ain't gonna work.
You guys, you do look really professional as well. I like the artwork side of your clothing line and stuff as well, like your website, the photos that are taken, photography. It's great. Who does your photography kind of stuff, and the idea between the whole collective of you lot with that?
Conceptually, everything with Bakery Boys is us. So everything you see is either we've literally done it ourselves, or we've sort of collaborated with maybe, say, a photographer and gone through the ideas and sort of created. We had the vision. There's always, in everything you see, there's always a strong element of us in it.
MTV, we should be the first XO Feng Shui BBC. We did O2, Sony, Foot Locker, Mobos, Kiss Ace, this very easily. We go hard.
So is there any plans going on for you guys, like positivity-wise, for the rest of this year? Last time I spoke to you was wireless. Yeah. Anything going on for the rest of this summer, maybe?
We've just wrapped up the final bits to the campaign for the mixtape that we're going to be dropping this summer. The next single, Getaway, is coming out. Literally, we're going to start pushing it out this week. So there's going to be some exciting bits going around that. But yeah, that's the next main thing for us.
Great stuff. And I really like what was said there, where they said that, when you go through difficulties and obstacles, it kind of makes you appreciate, when you do have success, it makes you appreciate how you got there, and it just makes it all the sweeter, doesn't it, Excel? Absolutely. Just over here as well. Alrighty, but before we get back to Excel, let's take a look at a challenge that I did in Wales. Hi everyone, I'm ready for my next adventure, and I'm here with John from TYF Adventures. Hi John.
Hi there, how you doing?
Very well. What are we doing today then?
Today we're going rock climbing, well, abseiling and then rock climbing. So we're going to take a little stroll along the coast and then learn to trust one of these and unfortunately trust me as well. So be a bit of that.
Are you trustworthy? That's the question.
Definitely am, without a doubt.
You've done this loads of times, so I'm in safe hands, right?
Yeah, about 15 years worth.
Oh,
so.
okay, that's fine. All right, so let's go and see how I do, and hopefully I'll pass this challenge. What do you reckon?
I reckon you will.
Yeah, all right then. Let's go.
I feel nice and secure then. Feels tight though.
Yeah. So we're about to start the challenge, John, almost ready.
That's
What's
right,
going to happen now?
Well, if you look behind you, you can see the rock face that we're going to abseil down, and then you're going to climb back up. Okay? Okay. So it's a beautiful spot here. This is called Porth of Funnon in St Bride's Bay, really beautiful spot. We're going to be using an abseil device. This is called a figure of 8. Right. Okay, and it basically works on friction. These few bends the rope takes through the device adds plenty of friction. You'll be able to hold on with like literally fingertips, and that'll keep you moving slowly down the rope. Okay, so we're just going to tie you into the safety line. Right through there. This is a beautiful knot. It's called a re-threaded figure of 8. So what you can see I'm doing is I've got the one figure of 8 knot on there already, and I'm just re-threading it back on top of itself. So keep going all the way. Keep coming straight towards me. So the last little bit here, the footholds get a little bit smaller, but you've got these nice little sort of toe-sized ledges just there, that's it. But good handholds. Keep pulling in. Oh, God. That's it, you got it. Keep going nice and easy. Keep coming over towards me a little bit if you can. Fantastic, really good. That's it. Alright. Yeah, I'm standing on that nice big ledge just there. Hey! Well done, that was awesome.
Thank you.
Fantastic effort.
I did it! I wasn't actually expecting to climb back up. I didn't know that was part of the challenge.
Well, we thought we'd keep that as a little surprise.
You mentioned it kind of, I didn't really register.
Yeah, just thinking about getting down.
I'm actually really proud of myself for doing that.
done really, really well. That was awesome. Really, really good. I mean, to do that without having had much practice is fantastic. Really, really good.
Oh, brilliant.
Nice
Thank you. That's amazing. Woo! That's fun.
Got to do that again sometime, and this time Excel will try it as well. She was just watching me that day. We ran out of time though. You did want to do it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did want to do it. I was quite disappointed I didn't get to.
Sorry, I could see your little face, but we had to move on to another challenge, didn't we?
No, yeah, it's fine.
But she got to jump into the water with me. Yeah. Freezing cold water, by the way, because it was in November we went.
It was, oh gosh.
Or December.
Something like that.
It was freezing.
I think it was November. Yeah, I think it was November. It's absolutely
only crazy Chrissy will be jumping in the freezing cold water.
Well, I think an even crazier Excel will jump into the water and she can't swim.
Yeah. It's true. It's so true.
I hope my mother's not watching this. No, I never did. No, Mom.
Now, we've got time for one more news item, and after the break, I'm also going to be answering a question from a viewer. But let's take another news item first, Excel.
Okay. I think I need to sort of mention this because it's a bit of a little cute story I got as well. There were a group of children that had gone to the White House for sort of like a tour, just how, you know, to have a look around and stuff. And this young lady by name of Charlotte Bell was hosted by Mrs. Obama, and it was the day, it was called Take Our Daughters and Sons to Work Day. So they all sort of came around, and it happened that Charlotte's father had been out of work for 3 years, and so Charlotte decided to take matters into her own hands and took her father's CV along on the trip.
Oh.
And so when they were having a televised...
How old is Charlotte, sorry?
10.
10?
Yes, 10-year-old.
Oh,
and yeah, they were having a televised question and answer session. And so basically Charlotte just went up to Mrs. Obama and gave her her father's CV. Just literally handed it over to her. And the funny thing about it is, apparently the night before they had joked about it because I think Charlotte's dad did work for in some form during Obama's campaign or something. So they had joked about it, saying, you know, maybe she should go there when she goes to the White House trip. She should make a job pitch for her dad and all that. So not knowing she actually took it seriously, they didn't know she did that. The family did. So she actually went and gave the CV to Mrs. Obama. For the people who didn't hear, all Mrs. Obama said was, oh, not to worry, that her request was a little private and she's doing something for her dad. That was it. But she gave her a hug as well afterwards, and then,
nice.
you know, carried on with the tour. But she did take the CV with her, so watch this space.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell us that he was offered the job.
I know, but maybe it hasn't materialised yet. But at least it was a good thing that she was a very thoughtful 10-year-old.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Yes.
All right, so I'm just going to read this question from a viewer and then answer it after the break. This one's from Maria. And she says, I have had many problems in the past and even had my children taken away from me, which has made me drink even more. I know I can't blame anyone but myself, but the father of my kids always tells them bad things about me until now they're scared of me. I've not done anything wrong to them, but just wasn't able to cope as a mother. I miss my kids very much, but how can I get my ex to try and understand and let me see them supervised or unsupervised? I really don't mind. Okay, so Maria, we're going to be answering that question after the break, and we'll also have some more news from Excel.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Okay, welcome back. So before the break, I read out a question from Maria, and I'll just go over it quickly again. Maria has had a lot of problems. She's drinking, she's had her kids taken away from her. But she wants to see her children. The father of her children is actually, she says, is bad-mouthing her, and now the kids are scared of her. But she wants to see them, and, you know, supervised or unsupervised, she doesn't mind. So this is what I would say to you, Maria. And I know you miss your kids a lot, and, you know, it must be really, really hard as a mum not to be able to see them. But at the moment, I think the priority is sorting yourself out, because if your kids see you in a really bad way, depending on their age, I don't know how old they are, they might actually indeed be scared. So your ex-partner's probably just trying to protect your kids. Now, obviously that doesn't give him the right to be bad-mouthing you or anything like that. So no matter how bad things are, you know, you are their mum at the end of the day. So here's what I would suggest. I would say get all the help that you need to get your life in order first. Start investing in yourself, you know, make positive changes that you need to make. And I'm sure that when your ex and even the authorities, they see these changes in you, I think they'll be more lenient towards you seeing your children. But I think also I have to say it's very, very important that you don't make these changes just for the sake of seeing your children, because if, for example, your ex says no, it might, you know, send you back down into a downward spiral, basically. So first, learn to value yourself, do it for you first, and I'm sure that when, you know, your ex sees the changes and sees how much you've put into changing, then I'm sure everything will be okay with seeing your children too. And, you know, who knows, you might get, you know, access frequently and everything's going to be great, I'm sure. But work on yourself first, definitely. What would you say, Excel?
I mean, I agree, because ultimately there was a problem, and that was why this situation happened like this. So I think for her to be able to actually pass something on to her kids, she has to have something to pass on herself.
So if nothing's changed, what's she going to...
Yeah, it's going to be the same vicious cycle all over again. So investing in herself, definitely, and then she can pass something on, and obviously you can't take back the past, but then she can have a much more fulfilling present and future with the kids, and you know, they can enjoy.
All's not lost, don't worry, Maria, I'm sure. And if you guys at home have a question for me as well, you can email me on chris@chrissybshow.tv. Okay, so we have a few more news items from Excel before we go.
Yep, I've got something here for you that's right up your street, Chrissy.
Oh, no. Food?
No, what's the second thing you
Cats.
like? Well, yeah, okay, not a
Animals.
cat. There you go. Standing.
No, it's the priorities. Food.
Yeah, food first. I mean, after you fed yourself, then you can talk about, yeah, absolutely. Standing at 4 inches tall and weighing 300 grams, Tyson is the dinkiest dog in Britain.
Oh.
He is a miniature mutt. That's a cross between a Lhasa Apso and a Chihuahua.
Oh, gorgeous.
And is shorter than an iPhone. And is so small that the owner has to feed him with a pipette and use a hamster carrier to transport him. She said, the mother of 4, Rosemary McClendon, said Tyson, aptly named, would you say? Tyson has needed special treatment since birth to compete with his siblings, who are more boisterous than he is. Apparently he was very tiny when he was born, and he was eventually pushed out by his brothers and sisters because he was so tiny. And so he hasn't really grown since, and so he's literally stayed so small, and literally he's just, but he's still a very energetic pup. Apparently he's very he chases people and gives them a nip, that little thing. Seriously. And he shares a home with 2 kittens, a bearded dragon, sheep, horses, chickens, and a hedgehog. I think it's a bit
actually,
like
you know, sometimes puppies can be a bit scary, because when my sister bought her dog, it's a boxer. She was only a tiny little thing, but she kept biting my feet. And I was really scared of her because she had quite, you know, big teeth for a little size. Now she's like fully grown. I'm not scared of her at all. It's very strange. Although she doesn't try to bite my feet anymore, I have to say.
I think sometimes as well, though, that sort of biting thing, it's a bit like how babies tend to, when they're teething, they want to gnaw on everything. So it's probably
her tail was wagging, but I was just really scared of this tiny little thing. I thought, oh my God, she's going to eat my feet. Yes.
Well, you know, so she loves you, I mean, following on from, we've had the whole no makeup selfie, we've had all different sorts of things that trend on social media. The latest thing now, you may have heard of it, is the ice bucket challenge. Yes, indeed. Again, this is something that started quite innocently. It began, they've used it now to sort of link it to a particular condition, but it actually began when a golfer in Florida was nominated by a friend to participate in an ice bucket challenge similar to one that had aired on a Golf Channel program that morning. So after he did it, he then, answering his friend's challenge, after he did it, he then made a video, and from that point he linked it to ALS, and ALS simply stands for, let me see, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Basically, it's motor neuron disease in simple terms. And so he said he linked it up to that condition because he has a relative who's been suffering from it, and so he wanted to use that to raise some awareness and also get donations towards the charity. So literally from then it's carried on, and people have been sort of saying, I dare you to this, I dare you to, and so many high-profile people have done it. You know, with the likes of footballers. I don't know who this person is, but footballers called Neymar. Footballers, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, David Beckham, and John Terry, as well as Usain Bolt, Tiger Woods, Kobe Bryant, and Rory McIlroy, as well as Bill Gates. I saw Bill Gates' video, it was hilarious. He actually tipped the bucket over himself by pulling, it's like, Seriously, you had to even use some mechanical way to, you know. Bill Gates has done it, Oprah Winfrey has done it, Lady Gaga, Mark Zuckerberg, Justin Bieber, but Charlie Sheen did a different version of it. He actually poured a pot of cash over his head.
Oh.
Well, of course, he was donating that cash to charity. And
everyone's putting their own little spin on it.
Exactly, everyone's sort of done, and the people have done all sorts of different videos on YouTube and done a bit of a humorous thing. So with every, I suppose, because it's their video, with every clock up they get for views and stuff, they're also donating that money to the charity. And Wayne Rooney did something.
It's a waste of water, really, though, isn't it?
Sorry?
Bit of a waste of water and ice.
Well, even in areas where there's supposedly a drought, I think it's in California, for example, they have actually accepted that because it's for charity, they will accept at least, just even if it's just something token. It doesn't have to be a big size bucket, you know. Okay. It doesn't have to be a pot load of water. It could just even be a little cup. But I think just because people are willing to do this, and
I think it's a really good idea to combine something fun and daring to raise money for charity. You know,
absolutely.
Charities. Could you think about? Yeah, I'm just looking at the
Absolutely.
girls.
We had our One Bag Uganda earlier. Yeah.
I don't know what you girls would do. Think something out of the box.
I could give them suggestions. Maybe wear a bag over your head with holes or something.
What challenges?
I don't know. I just thought of something that involved the bag.
Maybe that's a good idea, actually.
There you go. And then Wayne Rooney was actually quite funny because he attempted to pour water over his wife's head and hit her on the head with a bucket.
Oh dear.
So yeah, so that's on YouTube. Search it out. But since this has started, apparently the budget that was previously spent by this charity to sort of raise funds, funds for research as well as for treatment, was actually quite low. But since this has started, it has raised more than $53.3 million.
Wow. Wow.
From 1.1 million donors. And this started...
All because people want to pour ice over themselves.
Exactly. And I even have my own friends. Yeah, I even have my own friends on Facebook who've literally just spread... Someone did it the other day and he sat there and he had actually 3 buckets of water thrown on him.
And it was like going... both?
Well, I suppose it was ice cold water, really. And he was like, funny, pulling these funny faces, and then he dared somebody else to do it, dared 3 other people to do it, and I thought...
And you have to pay, was it £5 each time?
Well, it was 3, but I think, I suppose, people always just say £3, and no makeup selfie was £3 and things like that. But I think as much as, Charlie Sheen donated much more than that because he poured the cash on him, he was willing to donate. But he has really raised a lot of profile. And I think it's the fact that also because it's motor neuron disease, people tend to, it's quite debilitating. It affects like the nervous system. It causes progressive weakness in the muscles, and people sort of like they call it as if like the person is they can see, or they can see what's going on around them, but they can't react to it. I think it's quite a debilitating disease. I think it went to raise awareness, and this has actually definitely raised awareness. However, another charity has now jumped on the bandwagon with Macmillan. They've now used the ice bucket challenge as well for cancer. Okay. So some people are also doing it now. So I think charities are finding innovative ways of raising cash these days.
It makes it more fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Because I think when you do things like that, it just sort of like people will go, oh, why are you doing that for? What are you doing that for? I think it catches
like I did some
attention.
film with the British Heart Foundation, and they had those heart lockets. They have these big, either a heart or the word love, and then people donate, I think it's £2, and then you write a message on the heart, and then it gets locked onto this big thing. Yeah. And it's just, people find things like that fun, and they take pictures of what their message is and everything. So I think rather than, some people may be a bit reluctant just to give money, they want something more fun and...
Because I think it catches on as well, and with the wonderfulness of social media, it just, you literally post one thing and then it's already, and in fact this thing started less than, it's not even a month this thing has been going, and you can see they've raised 53 million in less than a month. So that already goes to show how sort of really quick these things catch on.
All these charities now doing these crazy things. But we have to leave it there, so thank you so much.
No problem, you're welcome.
All right, everybody at home, we have finished the show for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you want more information about the programme, you can visit the website chrissybshow.tv. And don't forget, you can also visit the Facebook page. We have a lovely competition running at the moment for an Italian feast. It's a place that I went to myself for filming, and the food was fabulous. So do go to the Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show, like the page, and answer a simple question for your chance to win. That's all for today, folks, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye for now.
Snatching your people up, trying to rape them, so y'all need to hide your kids, hide your
your wife, had your kids, had your wife, had your kids, had your wife, and had your husband, cause they represent everybody out here.